looking forward to how TSM opened things up. They won both pistols on split. They're very explosive with their openings, but it's the kind of counters from Chet's Pets that have been really interesting to see because they get on their own sort of win streak. So we'll see already a setup of TSM towards C. Leading that charge is Sim through the left side. Now it's kind of a fake teleporting back because now there's this courtyard presence from GMD to get eyes on B. Could be a scuffle against Bao. He's going to disengage and TSM work the map.
And that's a big test coming out from Bao too. Doesn't even activate his double tap. So again, role switches coming out here for Chet's Pets, which could be, something difficult to deal with on their side as they're playing this rematch against TSM because they have played this same composition before. But now you're definitely seeing Victor staying as the main duelist for the team, Bao trying to be the support player, and Giza playing what he plays best, the sentinel role to anchor up towards the C site. So already a great start from TSM to run things fairly slowly and catch players off guard, rotate, trying to find information in the very beginning. And they have a chance now to close the pistol again.
Chet's Pets trying to cover up the gaps from those two missing players, allowing B to be walked in on if TSM would want to and converge later on. Garage is going to be given up, though, by Marv after the pressure, paranoia. TSM step foot on to C. And this could be a flawless round for TSM if this keeps up. Marv has a paranoia of his own, waits to regroup with Victor, presses in without Victor really being ready. It won't be flawless, but it won't be good for Chet's Pets. Another pistol goes in the way of TSM.
Yeah, and as you mentioned that's actually something quite interesting to mention as well for Chet's Pets. You look on one end, the ex-St. Clair players in Collegiate being Giza and Caillou, but then also ex-Optic champs being Victor and Marv reuniting to play here at this point for the side here of the defense to kick things off on the second map. So when you're looking at it at least in terms of the macro, how you want to set up here your protocols on defense, on the attack, it might not seem like you might have the best in terms of synergy, but at least you will have it in the fundamentals when these players are playing together. Unfortunately, there was just too many players to deal with here on the side of TSM, so they get nothing out of it. And TSM, rifle in the hands of Sim Rifle himself, looking to open up here a site being solo held by Caillou.
And Caillou has no util, like a shock bolt or something to stop this from happening. He's at least going to read the clone right. Victor ready for the flash. And they're going to try and prevent this, but with the better weapons, TSM make this site very easy to take, and the whole round goes by in a flash. So yeah, Chet's Pets make quick work of that. But speaking about Bao on ISO, I mean, we started talking about the experience that he has on the agent, and this is just a player in general that is very quiet, does his job, and I feel like ISO is an agent. You have to be a very loud, aggressive, kind of a high fragging person to be on it. Not that Bao can't do that, but it's a big shoes to fill.
Exactly. It's in a sense that it's definitely a whole different type of tech that you have to play with here if you're going to bring out the ISO for the team. Because he's been playing, again, a lot of controller or a lot of sentinel and not too much in a duelist in a team setting. So you're going to ask for a lot. But at least Victor is the one that's going to open things up first here for the side of Chet's Pets, and even TP's out of safety to give an early player advantage on the side of the defense when you're still trying to activate on your bonus round for TSM.
Great reaction from Caillou, and Victor always tries to shake things up on the first buy-up. I mean, he had a op in round 3 last map. TSM shock bolt out, trying to get distance Chet's Pets from the box. Now no, they're against the wall, and thought that maybe Caillou would have left the site completely. And he's still within that cage, so TSM will set up a perimeter around that exit. And there's the emergence, and Kaia's really clean with it. All pings at the Chet's Pets, but it's TSM just seeing the L from a distance. Wow, Caillou, a true anchor for this site.
Yeah, and I thought there was a chance there for 7 to even clutch that out to at least get 1 or 2 to put Vor on a 1v1 towards the end, because that smoke that was thrown by Marv was used to be blocking sewers, and then they were trying to flood back with the paranoia instead of maybe trying to throw a smoke to block out towards hell so they could flood in as a team behind the paranoia and guarantee at least like trade capabilities in towards heaven or sewers rather when you're trying to flood back. So I feel like there was a misuse of utility, but at least you still have good shooters on the side of Chet's Pets to really close that out on a 2 versus 3. They did some good econ damage, though, on the side of TSM. They get a plant on top of that. You're seeing that the buy is not the best for the side of Chet's Pets. At least they have a perfect stack. There's 3 players out there on that C site. Double tap already activated and denied by Vora.
There's a Hunter's Fury to open up the site, and the Guardian's at a distance, but because Caillou grabbed the orb over at A, he is a long-distance Hunter's Fury sent with love, and that allows Giza to get a heads up. It's a more control over C with the spike down and Sim at 10 HP. This, again, Caillou is having such a fantastic series with the support from so far away, and for Giza to really slot in well on this team.
Yeah, especially for Caillou, he's been on the radar and also talked about by, a lot of the coaches, a lot of the community, including even Mike's HD himself, saying, look, you have to give a chance here for someone like Caillou to really strive here in Tier 1 because they all believe that he has what it takes. Great calling. You're seeing that his heads-up plays are actually quite nice. Like, to counter out with the Hunter's Fury the way that he did, that's just off the fly to make sure that his teammates stay alive towards that C site. So very nicely done, but we'll stop it right there because there's action happening towards sewers. GMD's trying to open things up, but this should still be an easy kill now as Marv closes that gap.
Oh, just the 2 omens, but which team is still going to have their paranoia? It is Chet's Pets. And you can even see Marv wrap around, but TSM have already set up camp on B. There's a dimensional drift, I think, from Victor is exploring around. He's hoping to have a team that can thrive with him, and he aligns with him, and it's a flawless round from Chet's Pets after all that.
Yeah. Lower buy that you had coming out from TSM. You had an opportunity to maybe try to work a little bit more towards that sewers pressure, but it was all a ruse and a fake. They did a decent job on the side of TSM to do so because they still kept 3 players anchored up on that side of the A site. But the rest of the team trying to just funnel back into B, trying to flood into the B site for a plant just wasn't enough because everything was spotted quite early by the outline in front of that B site. So Bao was able to rotate back, support the team, keep everybody back. And when you were talking about support players being Caillou, having a great series so far, but Giza on this defense as his Cypher has been doing an excellent job so far.
I'll just... Now a dimensional drift from Sim. He's going all over C, but he needs a team with him. GMD teleports forward. There's a split, though, as Pets tries to cut TSM in half with this garage control. Not a lot of manpower on TSM's side, and it's just getting worse. When it rains, it pours, and no spike, just Vora. And maybe some good vibes. 1 versus 2 is definitely possible, but Victor just surprises him. Chet's Pets are on a roll with 4 in a row.
There you go. Now you have the ex-champs having a chance to win a 2 versus 1, fight a 2 versus 1. And you saw the patience out of that paranoia, just sidestepping, waiting for Vora to stick back out and getting that pick right away. And this is a much earlier timeout than anticipated on the side of TSM so far because it seems as though they haven't been as coordinated to try to trade out as well as they could. And you even saw in that pip, there was a fight coming in here from Bao. We were just talking about the difference in terms of what Bao could do in this new role. In the Gulag on a 1v1 when it just has to rely on aim against Sim of all players, still wins it very cleanly. So he definitely does have the aim to work with to help out here on the side of Chet's Pets to close out the second map.
There's a lot of comfort from TSM around checking out B in the early round, ending up at C, but this has been the biggest challenge for them. I think I wouldn't mind seeing TSM return to A. That was their biggest chance. They're sort of baiting Caillou into a fight where sometimes Caillou pulls out a miracle, a rabbit from his hat like he does before, kind of solo, and sometimes Chet's Pets get overly confident and try to take a 2 versus 5 on the A side. So I think TSM could try to exploit A a bit more. I think TSM thought B was possible just off the pistol, thinking, okay, there's only been 1 person there. TSM had a chance. But now that Chet's Pets are a lot more synchronized on how they're pinching into B, TSM got to explore other options.
Well, that's the thing. When you're talking about coordination, it's more on the side of Chet's Pets, definitely, because they did try to ult to get information for TSM, and already you push towards that front and get an instant pick. Look at these happening. Like, you're getting so many good picks coming out on the side of TSM. Everything's being red. So this timeout, I'm just going to talk over this because I don't feel like this is going to be doable here on the side of TSM, but the timeout was actually being talked about to just not tunnel vision too much into your macro on how you're trying to enter the sites because you're just not paying attention to the second step or how Chet's Pets are counteracting against you.
TSM haven't really been pushed on that A main. I mean, Caillou likes to have a more laid-back approach. I think TSM know that Marv liked to play sewers because GMD has encountered him there before. And just kind of surprised that Sim is just kind of walking it down, gets first picked. It's sort of uncharacteristic. There's a lot of reliance on Sim to pull through and make magic happen for TSM. And it's still possible they're wrapping around through A to try and access this backline, expecting that they're going to be spaced out. And now Giza from just the other side is going to backstab, so who can outflank who? TSM just have recoil left, and now Chet's Pet's looking pretty unstoppable.
When you say they had a chance, there was still a ping coming through here from Chet's Pet, so they do understand where the gaps are, what information that they don't have, and it was basically just the A choke. Because you still, again, with TSM defaulting the way that they did towards the A site at the very beginning, none of that util was broken at Giza towards C or Garage. So the only weaknesses that you guess here at this point is that they're going to be towards C or they're going to be towards A. And they read it perfectly. They still have the Bermuda Triangle set up here on that side of Chet's Pets, and you just saw the ending. So very nicely done on the defense so far on how things are working out there for the side of Chet's Pets. They're looking like they've been heavily practiced despite a change of roles, new players coming in to sub in last minute in the playoffs, and getting some pretty decent results.
Well, the Owl Drone's going to get really good information for Caillou. TSM were trying to take their time, take it one step or the other, because Sim got first picked out of just an aggressive pullout from Chet's Pets. And now TSM get read like a book, so they're going to see what Seven can produce information-wise as he explores courtyard. And TSM want to have at least a bit of illusion behind them before they get into the site.
Yeah, they really want Sim to try to find an opening into the B side, trying to find something there because he has a TP already set for window. So Util is going to help them out. If they clear out and they notice that nobody's in B, they should just commit to the plant.
Paranoia through the left side, TSM focused through the right, but man, the firepower is just too strong from the Chet's Pet side, and man, it's just butter on toast. Victor with an op just goes so well, but never mind, not so much when he's dead, and TSM had to go on top of the box to get a good angle. Seven has to play through main. ISO wall out, spike tap, TSM locking it down as best as they can with what they have left. It's only three of Chet's Pets, but Vora makes it happen.
How the hell did they end up winning that there for TSM? At first, you have the initiator on the side of Caillou on split. This time it's Vora. Both of them being IGLs, by the way. And this time it's the IGL on the side of TSM, opening things up and keeping the dream alive for TSM on that post plan. Because everything looks so good for Chet's Pets to just win that round. There was miscommunication at the first moment when how they executed and tried to fight towards the A link. But look at this from Vora. Yes, there was a lineup for two players, but the third one to just stay calm and reset his aim for that third kill was everything there to keep TSM in this game.
Yeah, I thought Chet's Pets were making quite the dent on the right side of B site, but now it's the Sentinel of Giza that has to hold down C. Spy cam already got shot. He's got a trip on the right side to help him stay put in garage. And TSM go unsmoked, unchecked, and Sim is alive and well. Can't say the same for Chet's Pets. It's potential ace for Sim, as Marv is on his way to deliver that or deny it. Spike down. Marv has open sight lines, clone shot, presence known. Marv with no time to make a decision, no ace, but a very important win for TSM going forward.
Yeah, great openings from Sim on top of that. And you saw a little bit what was being played here for Chet's Pets, anchoring towards garage, making sure that they cover that site. They have a trip that they could utilize as a kill trip if they were going to get smoked towards garage, and you just hopefully count on Bao to win his fight into the C site. Because the way that you scale here, outside of a TP in the back of the C site, there's potentially going to be like 2 or 3 more players flooding behind you just walked across. So if Bao wins that fight, he has another kill contract they can utilize towards C like they did before. And that was read by TSM. So they understood here the setup as soon as Bao has an ult ready, that they kind of play more passively towards the C site, and they still get into a C from Sim's entries to win that round. So great heads up play. I think this was all figured out as well, kind of like on the fly here from Vora, understanding how they've been playing against the defense so far of Chet's Pets. So very, very nice. You're seeing here that Sim's just rearranging his hair so he could actually see through it.
Oh, is that what happened when he walked down A? that one
Yeah,
time.
exactly. Or I wonder if somebody is like in an updraft or like a satchel above, like the first portion of your monitor, like the top 50%. Can he actually see those players? It just focuses on the bottom half. Anyways, that doesn't matter.
You look good, you play good. All right,
Exactly,
everyone knows
exactly.
that. I think ChessPS just have to find an angle, a window where Sim is uncomfortable catching him on the Waka, but as soon as Sim is standing still and has a read on you, it's so cooked. Sim will multi-kill every single time. He is just that good, and why the desk, and everyone talks about him so much.
Yeah.
Huge star in Challengers, but ChessPS are, man, so aggressive. 3-man walk down on A. Weren't able to catch Sim this time. Meanwhile, C is looking pretty open. The cam is going to see it in 3D. So Giza's going to call that out. Got a kill contract that could be pulled, and it's the flank watch for 7. And GMD with him coming through courtyard dismantles the 3-man flank of ChessPS. So this round is looking very secure for TSM.
Playing against, the best weapon that you have now is Caillou with the rifle, but you can definitely see it here on the side of ChessPS. They kind of went for a force buy here. Wait, hold on. You're kind of giving this away now. I mean, you still have a Hunter's Fury to guarantee the round, but you gave a lot of your lives away at this point in the pulse plan. Thankfully, you can still buy in the next round for TSM. But that shouldn't have been as costly.
Last player standing.
He's gonna get an ace. Okay. Even if the round goes in on the side of TSM, the fact that one man was able to drop 4 players and go for a full buy on the side of TSM's camp and gives them a chance here to really come back into this game. That is a great round by Caillou. That was a little bit misplayed for TSM on the pulse plan, just trying to chase that last kill. And I understand they have money to work with. They're trying to just eliminate the weapons left behind here from their opponents so that they have lower buys into the rest of the half. Because I was just about to mention, 7 played that round to perfection to make sure that he gets the info, knows that there's a push and pressure coming in from the A side, and they can commit towards the C side plan.
2 duelists from TSM are being able to plant so fast too. Imagine what Caillou could have done with more time. Oh, kill contract. Thanks for getting me out of the Hunter's Fury, bud. Now Recoil versus Giza, and Recoil kind of cowers. Both ISOs out. 2 versus 2.
Just going
The
on.
spike didn't even get planted, or nothing was really done during that time.
Yeah, we just kind of had chaos everywhere. I mean, look at all the X's within the span of 30 seconds. So you went from kill contracts to kill contracts, Hunter's Fury on both ends, going towards the kill contract, but now it's just up to the lurk players to get things done. So thankfully, Seven's able to get a pick. Here's the full rotate coming out here from Mar from C to A. So this is an easy plant coming out here from Bora. I mean, all that was beautifully played. That was just a mishap coming through, especially when you already had a kill coming in from 7 from his lurks on the A side. You have to be aware that he could be anywhere that could hear footsteps. And Marv, as much as he has that experience, unfortunately, let that slip and give a chance here for TSM to play now a 2v1 in a pulse plan.
I like that this was a different round from ChessPS when it came to defending C, because TSM, if it ain't broke, it don't fix it. They've now won so many rounds just running it down on C with a double duelist, planting so fast that ChessPS don't even have time to develop a plan.
Oh,
now
no.
the spike is going to get defused halfway, and wait a minute, it's going to be held! No way! This is the most TSM thing to happen! What the hell?
Oh,
Last round.
You called it too!
oh no, dude.
Okay, so when we talked about lack of experience or just maybe a little being a little bit rusty here for Marv giving his footsteps away, there was definitely lack of experience on that 2 versus 1 for TSM, because you're playing against a smoker. So yes, as soon as the tap comes through, they went for a recon dart, but it's gonna hit Narnia. It's not gonna ping anybody because Marv is gonna get covered by the smoke, and you can't ping anymore through the smoke. So you're just gonna guess and hopefully get your sprays correct. And unfortunately, it wasn't. And even Marv gets both kills on top of that. That's gotta hurt. That's gonna hurt for TSM.
The drop down. Tried to go with dimensional drift. Not at all. Was caught by 7. And I like the TSM punish that walkdown from ChessPS over at A. And guess what? It's TSM and the C side all over again. It's peanut butter and jam. That's all you need. But TSM just, don't let it get diffused this time, and then we're all good. ChessPS just, I think, need to be able to prevent this, not be scared of those 2 duelists running in for TSM. And I think when ChessPS do try to bite back, it's all-out chaos that TSM seem to thrive in.
Yeah, exactly. The chaos that comes through here for TSM's side. Yes, Bao can maybe get something, last round of the half, but loses that fight to 7. Now they get the ult. This is perfect now for TSM. You'll get the ping on the last one. And GMD, to be able to get 3 kills the way that he did right there was thanks to Sim's dimensional drift. He clears out the back of the C site. He knows that the site's clear. He TPs towards the back. Even on top of that, Sim's dimensional drift allows their Hunter's Fury to really push Chet's Pets away here outside of the site, and then free kills there for GMD towards the end. So despite the slight mishap out of TSM on round number 11, look at the punishment in return coming out here from TSM in round number 12 to now start a clean slate in the second half between these two teams.
All right, can TSM take yet another pistol? They're 3-0 on it so far, and they'll be on defense. Always easier, but on a 3-site map, you got to spread yourselves thin. And gonna see maybe this ISO Sova combo. Vora and Recoil swing out aggressively. Even Sims involved too, so a lot of firepower could be coming Chet's Pets' way. And it'll be Giza that'll catch it. Meanwhile, Chet's Pets, Paranoia in, teleport in with the Yoru, surrounded by cages and trips, and 7 stays burrowed, but eventually found. Chet Pets are on the hunt, and man, duelists do a great job of opening things up. And speaking of that, you got Recoil in a 1 versus 2 coming over from the B side.
Perfect trades for Chet's Pets towards the end. The shield's about to dissipate, and now it's just Recoil with 74 HP and a Ghost.
Oh, I like this bait from Recoil, expecting to swing out and almost reaction time. Knew Giza was there. And no more pistol streak for TSM as Chet's Pets could try to build some momentum off this pistol.
Definitely a very important pistol for the side of the attack for them to hopefully push this onto Ascent if needed be. But I got to commend how 7 played that anchor towards that C site. Before even going into his cage, he taps his camera one more time to try to see where the players could be. Even catches Victor on a full reload. That's gotta hurt. That was a slight mistake, but at least the players came through from the side of Chet's Pets and were able to perfectly trade against TSM's hold here on that C site and get that player advantage towards the end. So yeah, you have an eco coming through from TSM. You're gambling to walk down towards mid. If it wasn't going to be Giza, it's not going to be Marv watching that push down. Even if he loses his weapon, yeah, it's a Bulldog, but the rest, it's full Bulldogs across the board for Chet's Pets. You can see that there. Oh, yeah.
Timing. The timing there. At least Marv was able to call out that push. TSM were like, okay, the flank didn't work. Let's just do it faster this time. And Chet's Pets will manage to plant that much faster with more open sight. Now they got Garage. It's going to be important because that could be a place where TSM could push from along with the back of sight. Now with this trip in TSM's way, flank won't be going too far, not without notice from Chet's Pets.
Yeah, just trying to do some econ damage if you can. So you can break this trip right away. Kind of just break it towards the end or just have the players walk towards you. I wouldn't be surprised if Vora even tries to die with the Bulldog. So you could have better bonus and better weapons in the next round. Yeah. So that stops there. But towards the end, yeah, exactly. Too many targets to look at. Vora dies, there he goes. He could have a rifle going into the next round. But I was just going to say, you see how for the side of Chet's Pets, what they prioritize on their buy versus TSM when they were playing the bonus on Split, for example, the first half here. They're trying to get rifles up as soon as possible for the side of TSM. But for Chet's Pets, they went full Bulldogs. So they could actually focus more on utility to really try to get the best information when they're entering towards these sites and still have a pretty decent bonus round where they have still 3 Bulldogs carried over, a rifle upgraded by Victor, and then try to fight back against TSM's buy here.
TSM are still going to stick to their aggressive defense, but finally we'll see some action over on a main with the smokes though. TSM will get all of this free space with how deep the one that GMD put down. I like that Giza's just going to lurk within it. He is half health, though, but Stinger can still pack a punch up close. And instead, it's going to back away, try to minimize risk, play off his cam. I like that. Meanwhile, Chet's Pets
deploying drone
had sent their clone into Garage to try and get shots, get util thrown his way, and ultimately, Chet's Pets end up at B. Only one smoke, though, covers the left side. Chet's Pets cover and focus on the right, but the gunfights are not really going their way, especially with the paranoia from TSM. Victor puts a good dent into TSM, though, and Chet's Pets pivot yet again towards A.
2 kills is perfect for Victor on the side of B to pull out the rotate from TSM. So that allows for you to get the plant now for Chet's Pets. You still have a Trip watching that flank. Marv is going to try to reactivate for a late lurk, but he's about to get caught.
Oh, well, 7 has better timing against Marv. Now the neural theft will give a better chance for Vor and a recoil pushing through the front, especially through the smoke, dropping down, picking his timing right. Lucario is quicker to the trigger and synergizes with Giza to take care of the rest. Now it's just 7. 1, 2, 2 to lose to the rest of Chet's Pets. And no hat, but good vibes and a defuse for TSM.
Dude, the calmness coming out from 7 right there. It's just a standstill. Makes so much noise as he's running towards the top of that spike and just trusts that both players will try to swing in front and not wrap around the back and still lands both kills as they run into his crosshair. Everything was perfect from the way that he played this. Again, 7, just on the defensive side, does a great job to engage and give as many chances for TSM to win the round. And somehow they always just let it slip. And this time around, he has to clutch it for the team because that second ping and then it just jumped out without really coordinating or re-push or re-flank or re-flood from the bottom spawn to the top window for the side of TSM. I was gonna slap them on the hand being naughty boys here on how they weren't really running their fundies on that retake for TSM, but thankfully 7's still around.
Whoever's on camera, they're not around. I just saw them leave the room. So quick little tech pause there, as I was gonna wonder if TSM are panicking because they get a win and all I hear is, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. Like I definitely feeling that in a quarterfinal for playoffs, and how really open that throne seems with SRB not being here, and how Chet's Pets are missing 2 of their players, which obviously congratulations to being promoted to Leviathan, but TSM are expecting to win this. They are confident that they can beat anyone, and this is supposed to go their way on paper, but this is difficult.
Especially when you're looking on the side here for the rest of the playoffs. I mean, you look at YFP, they recently lost their matches too in the upper playoffs, right? So there is probably a conversation at TSM that was one of the heavy favorites when you're looking at the beginning of the season to maybe dropping down to 3rd or 4th as you saw like the run towards that mid-season. And the heavy favorites should still be Envy no matter what. But you're starting to see here with that drop of SRB, with a drop of M80, TSM's closing that gap into being able to challenge a team like Envy to try to ascend here into partnership within the next year. And you're starting to see how much it means also for this brand new roster for TSM that brought in Vora and Recoil and try to just work around this core of GMD, 7, and Sim and try to make things work. They are investing a lot to try to make sure that they have, the best chances to try to ascend, especially bringing in NVS and next champs out from the Ascend team, and also a veteran player going into the coaching staff, such as Link. So now you're still seeing that there are still moments of struggles coming out here from TSM here and there, but no matter what, as long as they still cross that finish line, I think they'll take it no matter what.
Giza living for as long as he is means that he's denying every single flank from TSM with these trips that he's purposely leaving in spawn because TSM were flanking every freaking round. So now that this tech pause is done, I think TSM just has to dial back, go back to the fundies, play this really front to back. Speaking of that, Vor has his back against the wall. He's in the corner, dodging Hunter's Fury, a paranoia, a wrench, some bullets. Finally, he's down. And at least he's got backup. But the trades go Chet's Pets' way. Neural theft from Giza. Should be trying to secure this round, but you're gonna know Recoil's right at the front door, unobscured, and GMD could be going towards heaven. Good paranoia, may have hit Chet's Pets, and as soon as the swing out happens, the blind is there. And Recoil in a 1 versus 2. If there's anyone that can do it, it's him. He ended with an ace, and he ends with an L this time. And Chet's Pets continue their lead.
And that's the thing, to touch back on what we were talking about here with Chet's Pets with the buy of the Bulldogs in their bonus round. The fact that they lost that their bonus against TSM, but they made it very close. They could still buy a very strong round here in this round. You saw that they had 4 rifles and 1 Bulldogs in the hands of Victor. And then after winning this fight here against TSM with a beautiful execution towards the A site, now TSM has a broken economy, and now Chet's Pets could get to the double digits a lot easier than expected in the first place if they actually did go for rifle buys and had a much tougher buy in their bonus.
7 took an arrow to the knee. But he's still Got a shotgun that hurts, no longer. You found out what she did on Split. It's not happening again. Seven's always lurking somewhere. And guess what? TSM love to flank. This time, it's more successful in that 3 versus 1, you would think. Now, that means Chet's Pets, just like before, deja vu. There's a TSM flank from A. Chet's Pets plant at C. They got trips behind. Giza will be on flank watch. We'll see what Recoil and GMD can accomplish. And if Rico's going to want to go for a kill contract, he'd be leaving GMD with just a sheriff out to dry. But, hey, dwindling the numbers of Chet's Pets could always be good.
Yeah, the same nature on your eco to just look for exits on the side of TSM. You can definitely see here from the change, again, from Tail being nerfed to the ground. Oh, no, Recoil just got pinged out.
One enemy remaining.
Yeah, so that's no
tough.
rifle to
Almost
save in the next
dodged it.
round.
But no cigar.
To get back to that point too, is the fact that Tail got nerfed to the ground. You don't really have any of those real trap plays of like fault line to a recon dart or like salvos when you're bringing a breach in this composition, right? I mean, Tail, the breach Sova is still a strong comp that you have here, even if Tail is nerfed to the ground. But the fact that none of these two teams are using a breach on this map, you're seeing that in the anti-ecos, Chet's Pets are leaning towards this C side a lot because you can't really walk down the tight corridor of long C by yourself or as a group because you're just going to get mowed down by rifles. So, or you're going to walk down B or you're going to walk down towards A site. So you always keep a player in the back there for the information. So well done.
Oh, pushing past the ISO wall for an op into a teleport. Sim is way too alpha and wins this. All right, goodbye, Victor. And Chet's Pets just off the rip, really inserting their duelists well, especially with the dimensional drift. And TSM tried to stop it before it developed. Still a garage push there from 7. I could get a cutoff. Wait. Well, I guess he's pulled into something he can't escape, and 7 wins it. Now he's got Vora, 2 versus 2, and 7 with a huge dub. Fist bumps in the air. TSM are still in this.
Where was the conversation? They ulted him out in the open. He could have probably get instantly traded coming out of the ult into garage. But they leave him stranded, and now he's dropping 21 kills after those 3 kills in that previous round. So a slight mistake coming out from Chet's Pets. I feel there was too much chaos coming through, and this should have been a round coming out from Chet's Pets. I was going to mention another miscoordination of the flash to get value out of Recoil coming out through the smoke. That's twice now that you're trying to combine a flash and double swing out, but the timing is not perfect because there's just miscoms coming out here on the side of TSM. But you have 7 that's able to save that round for the team.
The TSM were like, okay, let's stop flanking, let's buy an op, and just shoot them in the face. Like, sometimes you just got to go back to just the keep it simple, stupid. So now they have Sim pushed up with the op. Could be looking towards spawn. There are trips there, of course.
He's also keeping it simple.
Okay.
Got the op down towards long C. He's got everything covered up, so everything's perfect, right? So now the rest of TSM, they can just continue to anchor up to play more passively now to find information towards those 2 links. Because look at how much map control they have right now. A double push down towards sewers. They have that op down towards the long C. The gaps are now curling towards long A and also towards garage and the A link. So if you stay calm right now for Chet's Pets, you're forcing TSM to start moving around, and you might now start getting caught off guard because players will start giving up their positions and also giving up those funnies where they can trade off each other.
TSM like to take control. They want fate in their own hands, and they get a little antsy. Start getting mobile.
Oh, no.
Now with that teleport from Marv, you kind of got TSM's attention. Going towards C, dodge, Sim, no longer here. Op dropped a big double kill from Bao. We wanted to see this guy get loud on the duelist. And Giza takes care of the flank. So it's just another day, another 9 to 5 from Chet's Pets planning at C and winning the round.
That op should have hit, though, on the top of garage. 2 players walking forward, nobody looking at Sim, and unfortunately he misses a shot and gets a shorty close range onto Bao, and Bao still survives. And the reason why I said, oh no, is you committed a full TP from Marv towards the A site, but instead of letting him come out of the A site to plant at the ammo box, TSM actually swung out and forced him to cancel the ult. And they still had 3 players inside garage. And that's what I was talking about. When you don't have the information of where the mid-rounding could be from the forward positions that you had. You left those gaps towards garage. You forced the rotate outs. And then that's probably the reason why Sim missed his shot, because now he probably feels like he's being pressured. He's caught off guard and he's panicking on his shot. And now Chet's Pets are 2 points away of pushing this to a third map.
Gotta kill contract, neural theft. So if there's any round to start flanking and being aggressive, it's this one, because to be really important for 7 based on the judge buy, or at least some kind of shotgun maybe for 7. To just continue playing this corner, continue to play his Cypher cam, and where he puts the trips going to be pretty important. Meanwhile, the rest of TSM, these double duelists look like they want to walk down courtyard. That's at least not where the trips have been.
Pinged out though, so they heard the first trip being thrown towards garage, so they might be expecting more extremity control on the side of Chet's Pets for TSM. So look at the instant TP out, trying to work back towards the extremities on the side of the defense rather.
Caillou went away from the Hunter's Fury, which would be huge for the post plan, and Chet's Pets getting real close to forcing a map 3. A site looking so open too. Sim will be the one to spot in a safe position from heaven too. He's gonna flash and re-peek and knows there's more around the corner. The whole squad, no way he re-peeks a 3rd time. Sim is so confident. Recoil, I don't know if he can escape, but Bora's got cut off from sewer. And just the crossfire the TSM have created, so well read, just in time before Chet's Pets could walk in.
My hope is that it was perfect there for Sim to just re-peek to confirm that there was 4 more players there after he threw the flash, that Chet's Pets were committed to hit towards the A site. Which then I was like, wait, why are you not falling back here for recoil? Because you had the kill contract to work with. You could stop that push. But he was the second player playing bait. So the first one being Sim for info, the second being the baiter, so that Vora could get that double kill just the way that he did. So it turns out quite nice towards the end here for TSM. Get the information for the team. Play a little bit more selflessly and now try to close the gap. Getting very close to Chet's Pets and tying up the game here on the second map.
Ooh, early Hunter's Fury from Vora. Again, just delay things for Chet's Pets and even getting a kill so early, especially on the Marv. And Giza's gone too. The round just started. Chet's Pets got their duelist. The double swing. Caillou with 2 has to pick up the pieces. The spaghetti's on the floor. And it's a 2 versus 2 for a potential match point. And Caillou has to be the hero once more. Victor by his side. It's looking good for Chet's Pets to force ascent.
Yeah, and Victor on alert for that pick too, but TSM had the upper hand at the very beginning on that instant kill onto Marv. As soon as he heard the Hunter's Fury being called out, seems like Marv maybe got hit by double util or shot while being hit by the Hunter's Fury. He got instantly dropped. But somehow it comes down once again to the IGL, this time on the side of Chet's Pets. One more time, Caillou opening up the site for a 3K, going for solo plays of his own, and giving a chance here for Chet's Pets to push this to the 3rd map. Second timeout now being called from TSM. It's the last timeout they'll get here, unless they're able to force the last one out here from Chet's Pets.
Caillou sometimes just wills these wins into existence, like putting in a lot of muscle when it seems like they're at a deficit. He comes out and just these multi-kills, and every team needs a clutch god like that.
Yeah.
Someone that can just turn all the odds, and will be match point for Chet's Pets coming up as we have a TSM timeout. And being able to shut down Sim is a big win condition part of that. And Chet's Pets have been ending up a lot towards C sometimes today, but how they're able to work the map too is something TSM have to read carefully.
And it's tough, especially when Caillou has a Hunter's Fury to work with on the attack side with map point for Chet's Pets. Thankfully, though, on the side of TSM, there's no dimensional drift, so that they can combine, the Hunter's Fury on the side of CPS. So they still have an opportunity to work a little bit more now. And you were mentioning the amount of times that Chet's Pets like to work towards this C site. All 5 of them are looking to instantly push up on this side.
Well, we saw how difficult it was facing off against TSM doing that. Hunter's Fury is going to press back. There's a kill contract from TSM, kidnapping 1, while the rest of Chet's Pets will hold off to react to the result of that. Is Recoil winning that? And at the back site, Chet's Pets will get a plant. Waiting now for the timing of Sim on the flank. We'll have to take care of this tripwire. We'll be able to teleport out too if things don't go so well. TSM on the front lines too are unsmoked, unperturbed. They try to go through garage and Sim punctures from behind, and Chet's Pets are squabbling, trying to figure out where the threat is coming from. So well timed out of TSM.
What a beautiful shot coming out from Sim, though. The flash to jump forward, I thought he was going to try to do some tech to just TP through the trip, but that was already to give a tell that there's somebody behind anyways. So I love the fact that he just broke the trip, jumped in front of his flash, and gets an insta headshot onto, I think that was Giza on the back of that platform. And that just engaged here and forced Chet's Pet, to fight back towards the spawn. A recon dart was too much from TSM, and TSM just flooded back against them. And you were mentioning they were squabbling a little bit on the side here of Chet's Pets trying to hold the pulse plant. But everything from that first shot right there, beautifully done on the side of Sim. Even stays alive here to allow finally TSM to hit double digits in the second map.
And at least finally a successful flank from TSM, just needing the right timing of when you push from the front and when you push from the flank, and even kind of having some alternative angles through garage, having the time to really develop that and not panic too much that, okay, the spike gets planted, you don't have as much time to fight, you also have to search for targets. So TSM were able to slow things down and pull through thanks to the calling of especially Sim, how they're able to synchronize in that moment, but still getting pretty dire. This is kind of a similar scenario to last map. It ended 13-11. I wouldn't be even surprised if we had a similar scoreline there too.
And the big thing too is you're mentioning the amount of times that TSM are going for flanks, but not always as groups. But Sim has been flanking a lot in these moments for rifle rounds. On Ecos, they're also doing it as a group. And Chet's Pets after this timeout, I mean, you're starting to see it's going back and forth in terms of round trades. And that timeout for Chet is probably to make sure that somebody's watching that fight, which is why this time around, Giza is just staying in grass, staying put, watching his camera.
On where these trips are for TSM, they don't want Chet's Pets to extend any further, but man, Chet's Pets are gonna group up. Now on the front lines is Victor, the bodyguard. Dimensional drifts. Sim's gonna get as much information as possible. And there was the vulnerable hit. And Chet's Pets, he gets behind cover. And Sim emerges victorious before he's traded by Marv. And it's a 1v1 to end the map. Marv versus GMD. No paranoia, smokes galore. Now the spike gets tapped. Gonna be held halfway and past it. Teleporting forward. He's gonna be held!
Oh
He's gonna get held!
The balls! The balls of GMD to just hold the defuse the whole time. It was so close. And Marv played it as well as he could in that sense. Because he TP'd across, he just tried to make sure that his rifle is sticking on the outside of the smoke and has to try to swing in to try to catch GMD off guard. But it wasn't enough time. Another split second, he would have had it. But GMD's timing to just stick that defuse the way that he did and even win that 1v1 towards the end. Look at how he stays calm. Look at how he stays calm.
Is he deaf? How did he not react? That would startle me. He ain't playing deaf, but hey, you're playing also without Sim now, and that does not bode well for Sim trying to force TSM to force OT. Recon, recoil, not going to react. You can hear the clone out. It's going to try and put a stop to these duelists. Keep some cover to buy time to keep himself safe, but you can't be safe. Not against Chet's Pets. How aggressive they've been. How successful they've been getting into C. Now TSM will have Bora recoil, or Bora with a recon, I should say. Sharp bolts. Now just gonna spam through the smoke. How is 7 knowing where they are? The cut through garage. The clutch. A 4v5 turnaround. But wait, Victor versus 7. The final 1v1 to send us into Ascent. The clutch god is here.
What a way to end that second map.